So I've got a nasty warning, and I apologise, but for any of you suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder from the cup, I do actually mention it a couple of times, so I'll give you fair warning when I go to mention it. Look, I actually got to see some of the poll results, and there's no surprise, certainly in this room. But my job and Carolyn's job and Tim's job is getting so much easier today because the entire ecosystem that we work in, and all those stakeholders, from the CEO to the board to the head of buying, are all using these products. So we're seeing real step changes in consumption. And today I'm going to take you through just a couple of watershed moments that have happened just over the last couple of weeks that sort of indicate and point out to just, I guess we're in these seminal points for digital and digital adoption. So I'm going to take you through some of these watershed moments. I'm going to talk to you about what we did last year to make sure that we could accommodate these activities and actually trying to accelerate this adoption. I'm going to talk about what change we're seeing in the consumers, and then walk through sort of what it means for advertisers and what it means clearly for you guys in this room. So this is the obligatory slide. People are changing, and we are changing. So in 2007, we were a free-to-air broadcaster. In 2013, we were a free-to-screen broadcaster. Technology happened. Technology set new expectations for consumers. We had to change the way we ran our business, and now we're this business which is about free-to-screen. Video is video, and we'll get premium video to you wherever you want it. Again, old school, we all know that sort of business. Sorry, I didn't warn you. America's Cup. Somebody vomited in the back. So this is, we had no idea that this was going to be this big. We had when you looked at the schedule and you looked at, only 3 boats, we were kind of panicking because we'd paid a fair amount of money for the rights. I had a bit of an inkling because when, the Rugby World Cup was coming around, everybody was a bit like, well, I can't even tell that it's coming. And day one, 1 million people turn up, 1 trillion people turn up, whatever it was, down at the waterfront. But we had, in the peak day, 100,000 concurrent live streams. That is 3 times the record that we'd had beforehand. So I can see Starcom's over at the table. For Toyota, that was probably one of the best buys that they've ever made. To put this into context, the biggest live streaming event concurrent in the world was 2.9 million. So if we took that 100,000 streams and put it just into the American market, there would be 7.5 million streams. It was huge. 6% of New Zealanders watched it online. And for me, I thought I was kind of an outlier. I would wake up in the morning, watch it on TV, get pushed off the TV and into my iPad, and then get onto the bus and watch it on my phone. There were 6 people on the bus watching it on the phone, and it was awesome. And I nearly got to a point where I was like, yeah, that was me. But I didn't. The second point is, over the last 2 months, we've had 80% growth in on-demand. 80%. Kevin Kendrick, our CEO, thinks I'm a bit of a pussy because I keep on talking about setting a target and it comes out at like 80%. That is phenomenal growth, and again, way beyond our expectations. A lot of it's driven, and I'll talk more about it, is the advent of what we're calling OdMob, or TVNZ OnDemand, on mobile devices. So again, these 2 events are really sort of highlighting that people are certainly changing their behaviour. Therefore, my job gets easier. I'll talk you now through what we did. We break our product down to, I guess, the 5 pillars of the customer experience strategy, and we break it into these pillars so it's easier for us to talk about, document and whatnot. So it's, of course, it's all about the content, which in the voice of the customers says, I just want content the way that I want it. Access, which is just give it to me on the devices that are most relevant. And the point here is the most relevant devices. We don't say all of the devices, it's the most relevant devices in the market. Control, let me discover and manage my experience. Quality experiences, I just want it to work. Not very exciting as a vision, but if you don't get that right, the rest of it's a bit of a waste of time. And then monetization, talking about this age-old, well-known, value exchange that we've had for 60 years, which is, I will watch ads if you put it around great content. So we talk about our content and what we did last year. We went off and secured some other content around from the Warner Brothers portfolio just to test what a back catalogue would do. But I think the most innovative things we did last year, and certainly it's happening this year, is we're fast-tracking Carrie Diaries, the Vampire Diaries, and the originals direct from the United States and fast-tracking it and putting it straight onto on-demand. We can't find any other broadcaster in the world that are doing this, and it's a centre point to what our, part of our core strategy has been for the last 7 years, which is make it easier to get from TVNZ than it is to steal. I can't talk about those numbers yet, but because the Vampire Diaries and Originals have just been up for the last 3 days, but again, it has blown us out of the, blown our expectations out of the water already. From an access point of view, this was the biggest thing that we did last year, and I can't underestimate the task that it is to get premium content secure with analytics, with ads to every device across what can be patchy networks. It is a bloody nightmare. And it took us probably 18 months to get this right and to get it and to do it properly. And I really congratulate the team for getting this right. We're now available on an extra 2 million devices in New Zealand, and you'll see I'll talk you through the impact of that as we get through. Control, making the experience better of how you discover. We looked at doing this forwards and backwards EPG, because we want to be seen as a legitimate channel of entertainment. We don't want to be a catch-up service anymore. We want people to treat us as though we're a channel. So people can claw back in time to go see what they've missed, but also now we're putting they can claw forward in time to be able to see, oh, that's going to be on in 2 hours. I'll start scheduling my time around around on-demand, sorry, ooh, I nearly said catch-up then. So people will start treating it as a channel, and we've started to see that behaviour, most certainly. The quality of the experience, the simplest way I can say it is that back when the service sucked. So buffering ratio is what ratio of your users are buffering at any one time. Before we changed our entire back end, we were getting 10% buffering ratio, and most of you in here who'd been using the product would have known that at 8 o'clock at night it wasn't performing so well. The task that I set the team was saying, make this as reliable as TV. Not as good a quality, because that's always going to be a challenge, but make it as reliable. If you, as a user, are committing your time to us, I will get that streamed through to you, we will, not me, I'm not there. And we're now sort of under, way under what best practice is now, so we're really happy with the quality that's coming through. And then monetization is the last one, and the slide fell off. We've been standardizing our platform to bring in much more innovative formats, which I'll talk about at the end. So then, what has been the impact of all of this? The main site, we had 530 unique viewers in September. We had 50,000 people hit the TV set for the Samsung smart TVs. And as of Sunday, we cracked 400,000 downloads of our smartphone and iPad apps. So it's now on the 10% of New Zealanders' pockets, which is just, again, it's humbling just to see that and we're just amazed that it's had this type of penetration. So what insights have we got so far from how things have changed? 55% of the base is still going to consume, or 55% of our streams are coming from the TV site. Over 20% are coming from the iPad. So 20% of our streams are coming from the iPad, but we've only got 10% or maybe 12% penetration in the market. That just goes to show the potential of what the iPad is going to deliver. The mobile phones, the propensity to watch videos is a bit lower and the penetration's much higher. So that's still at around 10%. Smart TV, 7% or so. What else have we got? The iPad Touch and the PS3 all around sort of 5%. The iPad Touch in this country is actually quite an anomaly because it took so long for the iPhone to come out here. We've actually got a really, really high penetration of iTouches in this country. So, across all the devices, so this is the non-PC devices, we're seeing, really decent growth. Just have a look at sort of February. I was talking to Tim this morning, we launched the app and it wasn't sort of, well, let's steadily watch it grow. Day 1, 20,000 episodes. Day 2, 30,000 episodes. It was literally, it just took off immediately. The positive thing is that it's not having a negative effect on the actual PC, the PC site. So we're seeing growth across the board. When it comes to the behaviour around content, and this is sort of our insights into, your iPad and your iPhone are a very intimate device. They're very close to you, and it's very, very easy to consume media on them. And so therefore people are sort of going and stealing that niche time and finding a nook somewhere and going and actually indulging in some content. So the most popular content on the iOS app is that sort of 24, 22 minutes worth of content, Big Bang Theory, the Two Broke Girls and all those comedies. Much more so than what we see on the main site. And then the other great thing that we've seen is we've seen our back catalogue come to light. So as people, again, they've got more time to sit down, they're treating this more as an entertainment channel rather than a catch-up service. Only 30% of our streams come from iOS, but 60% of the hits that we get to our back catalogue are coming from iOS. So it's not only we're seeing growth in some of the content that we've already amortized. So it's just showing how people are treating this as more of a channel. What we've seen on the PC site is that, and again, this kind of really does point to that people don't really necessarily like using their PC, is that in the weekends the traffic dips. And actually the research told us 75% of people said, I don't actually like using my PC to watch on-demand content. When it comes to the iOS apps, it actually spikes, again pointing to the fact that people are going off and finding those little points in time when they've got niche time during the weekend and consuming it more. Again, treating it like a channel rather than a catch-up service. And it's quite cool to watch that, like, there's a weird spike at sort of 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning and people are sitting in bed. And I saw one of the responses there. I'm going to steal your thunder. I saw one of the responses, which was, I just like sitting in bed and watching it when I'm hungover, which I think we've all done at some point. So then what does this mean for advertisers? There's a couple of things that we're really taking to heart. One is we're giving a space where we control frequency. So we maximize the reach with some frequency capping. The other thing we're doing is we're keeping first of all, we know there's low ad avoidance because you can't fast forward through them. But this is from the top of the organisation to the bottom, is that we are minimising the ad clutter and we're keeping this as a premium channel for advertising. And we know the impact on this. We know the positive impact on recall and whatnot. And of course, you look at all the media that's coming through. This is easily the most impactful advertising medium around. 86% higher increase in brand awareness, 86%, 25% higher recall, 17% higher consideration, and that was for Toyota around NZGT on demand. 30% increase in purchase intent for Wendy's. So these are, I just realised last night when I was building this, we've actually got a really cool infographic which explains all of this, and I probably should have put it in the slide. But John Paul Randall is our sales manager. He's here today as well, so if you're wanting to talk to him about it or get any more detail about this. So it's a really compelling product, A, for the users, B, for the advertisers. So I guess in summary, look, actually I'll just go straight to the summary. The audiences are continuing to grow, and as they're going to more devices, they're growing everywhere. They're not just growing on the new devices. Different platforms are bringing different audiences, and they're also definitely bringing different behaviours. And we're making a concerted effort to step away from being this catch-up service into being a legitimate entertainment channel, the same way that you would treat 1 and 2. We want you to treat on demand in exactly the same way. And that's me.